All right, what up? Show number 3 is here, and I have a special guest, recruiting analyst, Scarlett. Say what's up, girl. What's up, everybody? So, she kind of going through this. I've been trying to go live for the last 3 hours, but the wife and kids were hanging around, and I finally got them out to the park. But here we go. We're going to start with draft picks this year, and Alabama is absolutely killing this thing right here with 7 first-round draft picks and 16 overall. That is Nick Saban-ish out here for Coach Clay. But you can see right here, Brooks, Whitaker, Schaefer, Dial, what is that? Career, Hewitt. Don't even know. Adebayor? I don't know. I got a terrible little tongue tie too, so I can't really say that. Then you got several second rounders, third, and so forth. But they lead the way. Then second in Texas TV coming in with the second most draft first rounders and draft picks for first rounders. And then you got the national champ Lions Den at number 3, sending 12 picks to the league. I think a lot of us are excited to see Woolly Hand dip out of here, go to the league, say peace, the Heisman winner. I wish they would put, what pick they went with, what pick they were drafted in. But hey, we got draft picks at least. You got McNamara, Edmond rounding out the first round draft picks for Ohio State. Uh-huh. What you got to say about that? Huh? Yeah? Were you excited to see Ohio State players leave for the draft? Thank you. All right. Then we got Tennessee coming in 4th. And his back, Bezos, gets drafted in the 4th round, which is absurdly probably underdrafted, I would say, considering his prototypical size, 6'2", 231, and then his speed. What up, T2 Pop? What up, Pop? So him going in the 4th round probably tells you how much daggone talent there could be, or maybe EA's overall sucks. Then you got Georgia, Miami, Clemson, Washington State. Washington State sends a quarterback. I believe he was picked in the 1st round. Yep. Courtney Lincoln went, I would say, 1st overall pick, but I don't know. Mama. What? You think he went 1st overall pick? Huh? Want a drink? All right. You can't be throwing things down on the stage now. All right. Okay. Yeah. What'd you think? Is he good? Courtney Lincoln good? No. No, he's not good. Oh, okay. Mama. All right. Then you got South Carolina and USC in talks. Sir Tokes. I don't know. Call him Talks. Tokes. Sends 1 in the 1st round and has 4 overall draft picks. The rest of us, we didn't have very many first rounders. Florida, for example, had only 2 picks, which that means he's either a really young team or his graduating seniors or not favored too highly in this mechanism. Yeah? You want more? Okay. All right. So, finish up with the NFL draft. Then we'll get into these impact freshmen. The top 25 and the portal is now open. And then once we get to 8 Eastern tonight, the offseason begins. And with the premier ticker down there at the bottom, you got several newsworthy movements happening. UCR, Uncle Sam rejects, leaves TCU for Michigan. SC's coach was fired. Wake Forest hires him. DMG resigns from Oregon. He heads to fill Uncle Sam's TCU shoes in Fort Worth. Guapo returns from the salt mine. He vows for vengeance. Tone decides to leave North Carolina and head back to his home in Oklahoma. Then I guess it's Waze or Wheezy. I don't know. I'm going to start calling you Wheezy. Leaves Cuse for the West Coast, replaces Oregon in DMG. And I think we had Quell, Q Peasy join in. Took Texas Tech. We have Diermon, who left, who got fired from Arkansas. And ends up as an A&M, Texas A&M Aggies. So we will see how that will shake up some recruiting dynamics. Maybe not at all. And then see how they fare in their new job careers. I'd say Uncle Sam will put Michigan up there in the playoff. Has some pretty lofty expectations, I would say. DMG should still continue his run. Guapo, I think will get it done for the most part if he doesn't butcher it up. Yeah, Okay, take a drink. And then let's see. Zeus has some shoes and players to fill. Wait in the Lions Den has some players who step up. Then, of course, Alabama in his draft picks, but his incoming recruiting class is pretty well stacked. So there's your draft picks for this year in 2029. We'll go right into the portal and hit recruiting. What? Oh, more? Okay, hold that. Excuse me. We'll jump over to the impact freshman. Let's do that. All right, we're going to work from the bottom up on this. I just basically went through, looked at stats, kind of determined on what I wanted to put on here. Try to stay away from redshirt freshmen, but some redshirt freshmen made their way onto the list, as you can see. Drizzy James Jr., redshirt freshman quarterback, arguably probably the top impact underclassman. Frosh, as you can see, almost 5,000 yards, 59 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, added another 4 tutties on the ground. I wouldn't think he was much of a runner. I didn't look at these guys' ratings either, so I would say probably sacks took a factor into some of them rushing stats. But 45 yards on 66. What do you want? I'm trying to get you some airtime, girl. All right. And then his running back, Nathan LeConte, 204 attempts, 1,600 yards, almost 1,700, 19 tutties, another 7 in the passing game. So 26 touchdowns accounted for right there by those two. And then he, of course, has 2 big-time receivers coming in. Big-time receivers coming in. What the heck is that? Okay. You going to sit still? And then you got John Hatchett, redshirt freshman, 56 tackles, 20 sacks, which he must have had a huge development year after his freshman year when he redshirted. And then you got a punter, James Dickey, 20 punts. You can see the net yardage there, and then 7 inside the 20, which was from going through these user teams, that was the most inside the 20 that I saw. Moving on, Washington State, Shamir Bass, redshirt freshman running back, 3 TDs. He didn't have too much production from freshmen other than Cash, his cornerback right there, 6 interceptions, which is almost a career for some people. And then a kicker, 6 of 7. 6 of 7 field goals and 33 out of 33 extra point attempts. I don't want the water, girl. Moving on, Virginia. We got a wide receiver, 37 catches, Garrett Snelling, 6 tutties. Then he added another 80 kickoff returns for 1,700 yards with 4 touchdowns, which is a pretty good amount. And you got freshman Montel Blades, 6 interceptions, arguably probably another top impact freshman on the defensive side for within our user team. What? You are killing me. Utah, 1 going through his team. 1. Antonio Anger, right outside linebacker, 24 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, interception. Moving on, USC. He had arguably one of the most talented teams. Did not live up to the expectations. He had 2 freshmen, 1 redshirt, one true. And actually, the offensive lineman, right tackle, played really good. 10 games, for almost 500 snaps, 0 sacks allowed right there. Moving on, Texas. Champ didn't have too many freshmen. Gave the ball to this running back 52 times, 5 touchdowns, probably in some garbage time maybe. But there's his freshman. And you got Tennessee. He started a redshirt freshman, Jabari. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. You want to try to pronounce his last name? Huh? Threw for 3,000 yards, 29 tutties, 19 picks. What? Yeah, you see yourself? Is that what you wanted? You wanted to acknowledge that?
No.
No? Is that your favorite word now? No. All right. Then you got a freshman middle linebacker, Doug Witherspoon, who balled out. Just balled out. 100 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 5 picks. Be in the center. There you go. Okay. He played really, really well as a true freshman. I believe that is there. What do you want? You want to go play? Go play? Go play.
That's Mommy.
Mommy went to the park. Here.
Mommy.
Here. You want some more? All right. Moving on. Distractions. TCU freshman. This was arguably one of my favorite quarterbacks in this past cycle. He started him as a true freshman. Yeah. 3,000 yards, almost 3,500 yards, 39 tutties, 13 picks, added another 3 touchdowns on the ground. Then you got 2 freshman running backs that he leaned on heavily to get on his playoff run. As you can see, they accounted for 31 touchdowns and close to 1,900, almost 2,000 yards right here. Would you stop reaching in there? Then you got Chambers, redshirt freshman corner, and a middle linebacker redshirt freshman that played pretty well for him too. Syracuse, none. I believe this was his first. I think he got in the league late, 4 games, 5 games maybe. So he didn't have any impact freshmen. South Carolina, in Mecca, almost 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. True freshman corner, Matthias, and he had Sermon, redshirt freshman. I don't think you want your freshmen making this many tackles on the year. That means they're either getting completed balls on them or receivers and running backs are getting downfield and they're making stops. And that's almost 120, 130 tackles almost between the both of them. My math is kind of bad. Quick maths. All right, and then Theo Boss might be one of my favorite names out of these players. God bless, man. This is why I don't do this stuff with my children awake right now. 6, 3, and about to be 2, or actually about 6, about to be 4, about to be 2. But yeah, one of my favorite names probably out of this group. Penn State. Now he has a badass quarterback coming in next year, which I'm excited to probably break down. But you look here, you got a center, left tackle, left guard. All played all games for him. Played a lot of downs and gave up 10 sacks between the 3 of them, which I would say is really, really good. Then you got a right end true freshman with 16 tackles for loss and 7.5 sacks, which is crazy for a freshman production. Moving on to Oregon, which was DMG at this time. Diego Ramey, middle linebacker. Not bad stats for a freshman right there. 42 tackles, 3 picks, forced fumble. We'd like to see him get a little bit more tackles for loss, but he's making stops. Ohio State, I can't remember what the national champ did with quarterback. Jansen. Yeah. More. Jansen threw 200 attempts and for 2,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 7 picks, which means he played quite a bit. And I don't remember. I should have looked and see how many games he played in and how many downs he played. But I'd say he played over half. He might have played throughout the playoffs. I don't remember. Then you got a redshirt freshman wide receiver, Vernon Breeze. Basically did all the kickoff returns and scored once. I know he should have a receiver up here next year when we're doing 2030 impact freshmen. That will be a redshirt freshman. Then he'll have probably a couple of DBs on here too, depending if he plays them or not. Moving on, Notre Dame. He had a lot of players play for him during his title run. And these kids all will return, obviously, and even produce probably even more. Aquino, 9 touchdowns, split with his back, 6 touchdowns, and he had basically his Three receivers were freshmen that caught balls. I just took the ones that had over 18, I think, catches. So you got Portilla, 31 receptions, 10 touchdowns, and he added kick return yardage. Then you got Break with almost 1,000 yards, 11 TDs. We got two freshman linebackers. Alvin Mack seems like a baller. If you rip that book, I'm gonna be mad. She won. She don't. She's like whatever. Mack, 98 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, forced fumble, and then Hickson, redshirt freshman, DN, 7 sacks, which is crazy too. So he must have had a good development year. North Carolina, Tone, who's now at Oklahoma. You got Artie, 600 yards, 2 touchdowns, added another, almost 20 catches, 200 yards in the receiving game. Then you got Cush, played at free safety, 70 tackles, interception. Missouri, 2 guys, 2 backs. Looks like they split some time. Maybe Maddox got in some late action, scored 10 touchdowns between the 2 of them. Moving on to Michigan, who Scotian eventually was let go from Michigan due to some issues. Devontae Barkow played, I think, sparingly, enough to get him 100 attempts, 12 touchdowns, and the receiver, true freshman, led Michigan in receiving and touchdowns there. Miami, Sid, Trevor. I don't know how much time he put into him, but he played in some games. And then Nick Andres, 5 picks as a redshirt freshman corner. K-State. Looking at Ezekiel, I don't know how much he used him in the run game, but obviously started a true freshman, 2,200 yards, 18 touchdowns, showed his youth, throwing 14 interceptions. Then he also brought in Ricardo, who was almost perfect, looks like, in a game action, 6 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And you got a running back up there with 5 touchdowns. You got Jamie, who had almost 500 yards. And you got a kicker who missed 2 field goals but perfect and extra points. Caleb Hennessy was a receiver but only returned kicks. Iowa, none. Probably one of the older rosters, meaning no young kids contributed. Yeah. So look for Iowa to have some better success next year too. Georgia Tech and Skeet. Marco Durbin, running back. Tony, running back. Split carries, 10 touchdowns. Marco. Warren Wright, freshman receiver, led him in receiving. Kazim, he didn't get into the end zone. He's another freshman receiver. Then he had a punter with 33 punts, 1,000 yards, 883 net, not bad, and 3 inside the 20. Georgia, BJ, Dylan Cahill, really good receiver. I think he was the second leading. Maybe he's first. 57 receptions, 8 touchdowns. Dominique Price, guard, played in 14 ball games. Steve downplayed, but he gave up 12 sacks, which I think was the most on a user team, especially for a young guy. Redshirt freshman, Punga. Didn't use him in the passing game, but he did return kicks, and I think he returned one against me in our bowl game that ended up getting desynced. So he probably has another 1, maybe 2 there. My team, Florida State, Keenan Alba. I didn't discover what I truly had in him until the Ohio State game. But I gave it to him. He led in touchdowns for me. Then I knew what I had in Jared. Kid's a baller. You just get him open. He probably should have more touchdowns, but need a big play. I found him. Florida. I know I tried to get Fontaine last year or 2 years ago, and he's going to be he's probably going to be a thorn in my side in the Florida State rivalry. Joel Marshall, 70 tackles that are true freshman, 2 picks. So pretty good numbers. I'd like to see less tackles maybe, but you make them if they're presented, and probably be more of a shutdown. Maybe have a little bit more opportunities to get in interceptions. Clemson run to the semifinals in 49er George. Played a lot of freshmen and had a lot of impact of them, including 3 running backs. I saw that. I'm like, what the heck, man? These dudes are going to be a cog and a thorn of the ACC for at least 2 more years. But you see 13, 7, and 8 touchdowns. 2,000, about 2,300 yards between the 3 of them. Then you got Duke Lemon, 10 touchdowns in the receiving game. Anthony Brink, true freshman, only gave up 5 sacks in 16 games played. It's that going first round draft pick type numbers right there. Bryce Ryland, free safety, 74 tackles, 4 picks. Daggone, I think she pooped. And then Arkansas, Yereman, there you go. You got a punter, redshirt freshman, Mateo, 22 punts, 634 net, 3 inside the 20. There's your redshirt freshman, my guy. There he is. And then last, oh no, Bama. No. God, my Bama logo must have disappeared on my save. Coach Clay and Bama right here. Freshman, Boggs, 69 attempts, 10 touchdowns. Seems to me he was a red zone back. Can't remember if he tried to give it to him or not against Waite in the semifinal. Then you got middle linebacker Graves, 88 tackles, 10 for loss, 9 interceptions as a redshirt freshman. Then you got a kicker that handled both kicking and punting duties, 13 and 14 field goals, 76 perfect extra points, then 25 punts, 844 net. So 3 and 720. You know you're in trouble. All right, so there's our draft results, our impact freshmen. Flash them up here real quick. What up, Glizzy? Iowa, none. K-State, Miami, Michigan, Missouri, UNC, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Carolina, Syracuse, TCU, Tennessee, Texas, USC, Utah, UVA, Washington State, Wisconsin. All right, so there you go. Check off those 2. So let's go back to check out this portal popping. All right, we got the transfer portal rankings up. Duke Blue Devil is leading the way here. Carew, which I played against him. And I believe he was all over the place, too. Devin B, guard, Virginia Tech, Ramon Quick, Washington, Clifton Flowers, Boise. I looked at him. I don't think he's a shutdown corner out there, but game put him up fourth. Quentin York, Army, pretty good. Kyle Orndorff, Pitt, Alex Touré, Rutgers, Josh Kearns, Arizona, Earl Naylor, LSU, and Julius Honeycutt, South Carolina are your transfer portal players. So we'll hit them right here. Their abilities. Wrap up. Just you want that in a middle linebacker. Right guard, none. Hold on. Just messed up. Oh, no. What happened? What happened to me? Just didn't do this last night. I don't know. Hold on. I thought we were going to look through them, but if it's not going to... What am I on? I don't know what happened. How did I get that? Shoot, I don't know. I literally clicked star on the transfer portal and it gave me in that order and I went in that order. I tried that and it's going to throw in the zeros. I don't know. See, it throws in the zeros. This ain't right. F it. We'll just go top classes. I don't know what happened. We gotta go change you, girl. Yeah, you starting to stink. Yeah. All right. Alabama, South Carolina, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Clemson, TCU, Michigan, Miami, Georgia, as you can see in the top left. Then we go Penn State, Florida State, Michigan State, Syracuse, Tennessee, Washington State, Florida, Texas, Stanford, Kansas State, Oklahoma, A&M, Arkansas, Utah, and UCF rounds out the top 25. What up, right? Roll Tide, roll. What are you asking? What is this game? This is our league, Premier College Football. I'm analyzing or going over some recruiting, trying to put some life behind our players and league. UCF 25th. Then we'll go 24th, and Orion user 18 total recruits, 2 5-stars. 2 5-stars coming to Salt Lake City. And they are a quarterback. Oh, Rosa, pretty good, I believe. We covered him on our first show or our second show. One of them we talked about quarterbacks. And then you got a guard, 5-star. So there you go. Then we got Arkansas, who was D'Airmon, who now takes over Texas A&M, moving up a spot. And I'm sure the computer did all of that recruiting of 31 recruits, which is crazy. You got 31 recruits and you're 22nd. 8 2-stars. Them daggone 2-stars better be daggone Texas 3-stars. Oklahoma, Tone, coming from North Carolina, going back to his favorite team in the Sooners. And you got Chris, K-State, coming in at 20. A 5-star, 11 4-star prospects. Look for him to finally get rid of Unc Sam and take over the Big 12. I believe in you. I think you're going to take it. But you got Luke out there at Washington State, and then also DMG coming in for TCU. Stanford Computer, Texas Champ, Texas TV, 18th. He was up in the top 5 for most of the year, but it looks like he has either stopped recruiting or met his needs and probably being very selective now. Then you got Guapo at 17, Florida, 18 3-stars. So I wonder what he's doing out there in Gainesville. 11 4-stars, though. 11 4-stars. Luke, Washington State, coming in at 16, got himself a 5-star cornerback. And Wolf, Zeus, Tennessee, 15, got himself a 5-star. Teal, defensive end. And you got 14 4-stars, 2 3-stars, which is probably what you want to have right there, a good ratio of 14 4-stars. Syracuse, who was Wheezy, that has left for Oregon. Michigan State Computer, you got myself coming in at 12 with 24, 15 4-stars. I got 8 3-stars, and I took a defensive tackle who's a 2-star. Ended up, I think, liking his strength, so that's why I got him. Philly Carnage, 11. Penn State, 25. 2 5-stars, which includes the best quarterback and player in this year's class. Touched on him. Not touched him. Pause. In the second episode, so go back and check that one out. On my YouTube, so KnightNoles. Search KnightNoles on YouTube and try to find it. Georgia and BJ at number 10, 15 4-stars, 11 3-stars. Sid, Miami, took a lot of 3-stars this year. Michigan, who was Scotian, Preston, ended up getting the boot due to a blitz. And overuse against the commish, which, man, if you want cheese, don't do the commissioner, right? Either way. Anyways, Uncle Sam rejects, leaves Fort Worth to go to Michigan, and basically leaves 21 recruits for DMG Gaming. 21 total for him now in Fort Worth. 49er George, 6, 2 5-stars, 17 4-stars. Wait, Commissioner, the Lions Den, 2029 champion. 22 recruits, 5th in the recruiting, 2 5-stars. And you got freak. The name eludes me right now. Noreen. Jeez. T. Noreen. Wisconsin at 4. Got the Badgers up there in the top 5. And those 2 wide receiver 5-stars are freaking good. Wyatt, a loser in 2 national championships recently, is continually to reload. Will always be a force. Good coach. 2 5-stars, 17 4-stars. Then you got Hen at South Carolina with 32 recruits, 3 5-stars. At number 2, and then you got Coach Clay TV, Coach Clay, with number 1 Alabama, 8 5-stars to replace those 7 first-round picks, and 16 total recruits. Look at the daggone point total with 16 recruits at 251 points, and Hen's got 32, and still 5 points behind. 5.5 points behind. That's crazy. Wild. You got 32 here with South Carolina, and then you go down here to the Michigan State's got 34, a full board, 13. And then you got, who else was? A&M's got 31, still 211 points. So crazy. All right, so we hit the draft. Hit the draft. We'll flash that graphic back up here. Alabama leads the way. Texas, Ohio State, Tennessee. Hit the draft. There you go. You got first-round draft picks in the left, in parentheses, total draft picks taken in this year's draft. Then we hit the impact freshmen. Lots of good players, lots of good young players. So continue to follow along. Pick out your favorite player. Ask us if you're a follower of the league. Ask us who's balling out. Hit the top 25 in the portal players. And off season will start tonight in roughly 2 hours, less than 2 hours, and it should be a pretty good one. We'll be in Discord call. I'm probably going to try to go live again to capture all this, capture all the results. So check in then. Until then, Premier 247, KnightNoles, Florida State coach. My recruiting analyst, Scar, checking in. Say bye. 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 Say bye. Be back here in at 8 o'clock or so. Eastern. Bye. Kisses. Premier 247, baby.